Hey everyone, what's going on? Earlier today, I finished up a video that I started making on November 16th. I didn't have time to finish it, and I kind of just made another part earlier this morning. And I'm not sure if I'm going to even post this video, but I probably will, but just for reference to this video. But in this video that I started on Tuesday, some of the biggest things that I was talking about in the video had to do with blackout symbolism and power outages and so on. I talked about Paris Hilton getting married and how it's synced into blackouts, and how I had synchronicity with Nirvana and Nirvana's song Smells Like Teen Spirit that has the lyrics, with the lights out, it's less dangerous. I also talked about how Travis Scott was synced up to the blackouts that happened in Houston back on Valentine's Day, and a whole bunch more. And, you know, the very next day, the big story in the news was the death of this rapper. Think about Travis Scott and rappers, but his name's Young Dolph. And his death is absolutely synced up to the Blackout Super Bowl, something I've also talked about earlier this year. I made tons of stuff on this. Talked about Justin Tucker breaking the field goal record and how it was synced up to the 2012 Batman shooting and so on, right? I talked about Gabby Petito and how Gabby Petito's has this video about Sandy Hook, and it was all about the number 319. And Sandy Hook's important to 319 because Adam Peter Lanza in the language of Gematria equals 319. He's the supposed shooter of Sandy Hook. And then, lo and behold, on the 319th day of the year, we get the whole stuff with Alex Jones. And Alex Jones and his defamation, losing his defamation case about Sandy Hook, right? 319. Just all kinds of stuff. If you come back and watch some of these videos, you'll see what I'm saying. But I talked a lot about the Blackout Super Bowl. And this Young Dolph guy, I mean, there's some very simple things you can do with Gematria, such as his name equals 34. And he's from Memphis. Memphis equals 34. He's a rapper. Rapper equals 34. He also got murdered. The word murder equals 34. But I've been following these Francis Bacon ciphers where the importance of capital letters is placed on the way it works, right? So when you get to, A through Z, all lowercase is 1 all the way up to 26. But when you get to a capital A would be 27 all the way up to a capital Z would be 52. And these ciphers, Young Dolph equals 189. And that's interesting because if you write out Memphis, Tennessee equals 189. And this was a big number that I talked about in relation to Travis Scott as well. The Astroworld Festival just so happened to be 189 days after his birthday. And it was right after the Astros lost in the World Series to the Braves. And Braves equal 189 in the Francis Bacon ciphers. And then the next day we got the death of Astro from the band UB40, and his real name is Terrence Wilson, who equals 189 in Gematria. So does Major League, right? Reminding us of baseball. Also Aaron Rodgers. Remember how Aaron Rodgers was big in the news, right? After the Astros lost in the World Series and just before the Astroworld Festival, Aaron Rodgers equals 189. In relation to football, in Memphis, think about the Tennessee Titans. I know they're not from Memphis, but just think about Tennessee and so on. Tennessee Titans equal 189. And they're also important to hear. I'll explain in a minute, but I want to stay on the 189 stuff. So Energy Park equals 189. Think about Energy Park. And think about how J.J. Watt won it out of Houston at the same time that the Houston blackouts were going on that were linked up to the Travis Scott song Sicko Mode, where he says out like a light. I also pointed out in that video that Blackout Bowl equals 189. And Baltimore, who was in the Blackout Bowl in the 2012 season, who won the Blackout Bowl even, Baltimore equals 189. The Ravens, right? And this is interesting for one, because think about, we got Young Dolph. That reminds us of the Miami Dolphins, right? It makes you think of Miami Dolphins. And the current quarterback for the Tennessee Titans is Ryan Tannehill. who got his start with the Miami Dolphins in 2012, the same year as the Blackout Super Bowl. And he just so happens to have a birthday of July 27th, just like young Dolph. This is also interesting in regards to the Dolphins because just before young Dolph died on the Thursday night game, the Miami Dolphins upset the Baltimore Ravens, and Miami scored 22 points. And recall, at the Blackout Super Bowl that Baltimore won, when the power went out for delaying the game for 34 minutes, the Baltimore Ravens were winning by 22 points, and the word blackout in Gematria equals 22, right? And the Ravens ended up going on to win that Super Bowl, scoring 34 points. When the power went out, the score was 28-6, right? So a total score of 34 points. The game was played on the 34th day of the year. The power outage delayed the game for 34 minutes. The Ravens scored 34 points. Ravens equal 34. You know, just after that Super Bowl, Joe Flacco, who equals 34, he signed the biggest contract ever in the NFL at the time on the date 3-4. It's all about the number 34, and that sticks out even more because young Dolph also equals 34 in Gematria, right? 34. And in relation to what I was talking about with Travis Scott, if you go back to my video where I talked about Travis Scott, I mentioned how it was linked up to SpongeBob and Super Bowl 53 and also J.J. Watt and the number 99. And Super Bowl 53 was in the 99th season of the NFL, and that's why the Rams were in there, because Aaron Donald, their star player, his name equals 99. He wears number 99. Born on 5/23, the 99th prime number. And, you know, a whole lot more. It was the 99th season of the NFL. Patriots or New England equals 99. Just a ton of stuff with 99. But the Super Bowl 53 was held in Atlanta at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. And the Blackout Bowl was held in New Orleans at the Mercedes-Benz Superdome. So there's some type of relationship here with the Blackout Super Bowl and how it links up, right? So what are the odds? You know, young Dolph dies, and then the Miami Dolphins beat the team who won the Blackout Super Bowl by scoring 22 points, and the word blackout even equals 22. And once again, Baltimore is 189 and Blackout Bowl is 189. And let's see here. What else did I write in here? Oh, the week after the Astroworld Festival thing, the Miami Dolphins played Houston, of all teams, right? Miami beat Houston the week after the Astroworld Festival. And then before, you know, young Dolph dies, they beat, you know, the Baltimore Ravens. So notice too that I just saw it here. The Titans, they played the Los Angeles Rams just after the Astroworld Festival, right? Think about it. The Super Bowl is going to be held in Los Angeles this year. But think how I talked about in that video how the Los Angeles Rams were all linked up to the Astroworld Festival at Super Bowl 53. And did they play the Titans right after that? New Orleans played Atlanta, right? Think about the Superdome and the Superdome, right? Or Mercedes-Benz. You just can't even make this stuff up. Also, notice how after young Dolph dies, the Tennessee Titans are going to be playing Houston as well. It's just like this interrelated thing. It's like there's all these events were just planned around these two, you know, big events with rappers. And further, I know that young Dolph is connected to Travis Scott even more so, because think about his name, young Dolph, reminding us of Adolf Hitler. And if you look up Adolf Hitler, he died on April 30th, which is the 120th day of the year. And that's the same day that Travis Scott was born. Travis Scott, he was born in 1991 on the anniversary of Adolf Hitler dying. And it's also the 120th day of the year. Atlanta equals 120. So does Illuminati. And think about the Illuminati with these rappers and how, you know, this whole thing was like a big ritual that most people would claim is the Illuminati. And he was also with Drake, right? Drake was on stage with him at this concert, and Travis Scott and Drake's birthdays are 189 days apart, right? That big number, 189. And, you know, Drake in English extended gematria equals 120. His real name's Aubrey Graham. Aubrey Graham equals 120. Kanye West equals 120. Beyonce equals 120. Remember, I think it was a few years back. Was it 2019? Maybe it was right before. I think it was right before Super Bowl 53. Kanye West was in the news saying that Drake was trying to basically Illuminati sacrifice him, right? And that story came 1 month and 20 days after Drake's birthday. You know, once again, Drake's name 120, Kanye West 120, Illuminati 120. The reason I wrote Beyonce in there was because that story came on Taylor Swift's birthday. And think about Kanye and Taylor Swift and Beyonce and the VMAs and so on, right? All linked up here. I also talked about how Super Bowl 53 was all about the number 34 as well. So Super Bowl 47, the Blackout Bowl, was all about 34. Super Bowl 53 also was all linked up to Moses. And Moses is all about the number 34. Like Sinai equals 34. Or I think it's Mount, maybe, I don't know. Red Sea's 34, Canaan's 34, just the list goes on. There's a ton of connections to the number 34 and Moses lived to be to the age 120, right? So it's all linked up to this thing. And that's why right after Super Bowl 53, we had like Nipsey Hussle die in a helicopter crash because his real name was Ermias, however you say it. And that's an Ethiopian name, and Ethiopia is where the Ark of the Covenant supposedly held that holds the Ten Commandments. And, that's why we had the Ethiopian airline crash on 310 right after the Super Bowl, and a whole bunch of other stuff. It was all linked up to this Moses theme. That's why the whole Super Bowl was connected to the Nebraska Cornhuskers, and the Rams had Ndamukong Suh, and the Rams made the Super Bowl because of their field goal kicker who is from Lincoln, Nebraska, and the Patriots made the Super Bowl because of Rex Burkhead, the Nebraska Cornhusker, made the scoring touchdown or whatever, the points to advance them to the Super Bowl, and so on. And we had the thing at the Lincoln Memorial with the Covington High School, and, it was all about the Nebraska Cornhuskers. The Nebraska Cornhuskers play in the Sea of Red, reminding us of the Red Sea and Abraham Lincoln, who freed the slaves just like Moses. And Abraham Lincoln's all about the numbers 34 and 43, right? Lincoln's 34, I believe, and, Abe Lincoln died 3 months, or he became the president on 3-4 or 4-3, and he died 4 years and 3 months after the Civil War began. His birthday's on the 43rd day of the year, and Civil War equals 43. It's never ending, It's all kinds of stuff with that. But anyway, another reason I think that this stuff is connected to some type of blackout symbolism is for the fact that if you go from the Astroworld Festival crowd crush to young Dolph's birthday, it's 264 days. And young Dolph and Francis Bacon also equals 264. And this is a big number I talked about with space and so on, right? Elon Musk is all about the number 264. So is Jeff Bezos and so on. There's a big thing with 264 and the space theme. I think about Astros and Astroworld Festival. But 264 is this big number with the cyber polygon simulation that was put on by the World Economic Forum on July 8th, 2020. And it was 264 days after Event 201. And Event 201 was a coronavirus simulation, a pandemic of coronavirus that killed 65 million people just before coronavirus comes out, on October 18th, and a whole bunch of other stuff with that. It was, it was held the same day as the military world games were held in Wuhan, China, and then they come out and say that the first case was in Wuhan, China of coronavirus, and a whole lot more, But it's interesting because in a non-leap year, this was a leap year, but in a non-leap year, July 8th is the 189th day of the year. And the founder of the World Economic Forum is Klaus Schwab, whose name equals 264, and World Economic Forum equals 264. We're also talking about how there's a big link to the Jesuits with all this, and The founder of the Jesuits equals 264. And also 201's this big number with the Jesuits. And young Dolph just died 201 days after Travis Scott's birthday, which is also 201 days after the anniversary of Adolf Hitler dying. And Adolf Hitler was all about the Jesuits, right? Adolf Hitler equals 187, like Society of Jesus equals 187, and he released Mein Kampf in Germany on the day 18/7, and a whole lot more. Washington, D.C., 187. And, you know, Washington was where the Catholic colony originally was, and, you know, think about Baltimore again with that. But, you know, this number 264 is really important. And then young Dolph's name equals 264. And this was held on typically the 189th day of the year. Also, if you go look at all my, a lot of my stuff with my synchronicities with blackouts, I had to do with the number 219. I have been having a whole bunch of synchronicities with 219, and, you know, like Nirvana equals 219 in Gematria, and I made a post back on February 19th of 2021 about how I thought Nirvana was going to be important to some stuff that was going on this year. And of course, you know, Nirvana equals 219. Then we got the story about the Nevermind baby trying to sue him for showing his wiener on the deal. And I just had this crazy synchronicity with Andy Kaufman, and it led me to the movie Man on the Moon with Jim Carrey. And that movie, his girlfriend kind of in the movie is played by Courtney Love, who was Kurt Cobain's wife, and a whole lot more, you know. But a lot of it had to do with the number 219. I've just been having a whole bunch of syncs with 219. The day after that Nirvana sync, how was that work singing A Kiss from a Rose for no reason at all? And I looked up Seal and his birthday, 219. And then I realized, hey, if Seal was important to Nirvana and Axl Rose and this Rose theme that I was following a while back with Charlie Manson, right? And Charlie Manson equaled 219. And this other girl that I work with, her birthday is September 21st, 21/9. And I forgot what her birthday was, and I DJ'd her birthday earlier this year, but they know that I know like everyone's birthdays at work, and for some reason I couldn't remember hers, and she was making fun of me for it. But then a few days later, I was randomly thinking of this guy I used to know. I don't know where I put it in here. I'll type it in really quick, but I don't know. It just, for whatever reason, just I had something sparked my brain to think about this guy that I used to work with, and he used to be my neighbor when I was a kid, and I was like, I wonder if he's still alive. And I asked this other lady that I work with, and she looked it up on Facebook, and she goes, nope, he died on my mom's birthday. And I go, well, when's your mom's birthday? And she said February 19th. And I go, oh, 219, interesting, you know. And then the other girl that I work with said, hey, Dan, what's my birthday? Because I had forgot her birthday the other day. And I was like, it's September 21st. And that's funny because that's 219 as well. 21/9, and Kenny Dwyer dies on 219. So I was like, there's something to 219 that is, you know, important to this. And just all kinds of stuff with 219. I keep saying 219. We also, too, had earlier, before the Astroworld Festival thing, there was the singer of Smash Mouth. Remember, he got drunk, supposedly, and he was like telling the crowd he'd kill their families and stuff and whatever. That was on like October 9th. But, you know, think about Smash Mouth, and their biggest hit is probably the song All Star that came out on their album called Astro Lounge, right? Right here, Astro Lounge. And in Gematria, Smash Mouth equals 189. And just think about that, you know? You know, this was a big thing with a concert just before the Astros make the World Series. Then the Astros lose, and then we get the Astroworld Festival shooting, or crowd crush, and then Astro from UB40 dies. It's like, you know, it's all related here, but I'm just pointing out all these things because 219, it seems to be this important day. And I just realized I've been following a lot with France, right? In France, and if you go to Paris Hilton here, for years I've been talking about Paris Hilton being synced up to blackouts because we got the 2015 Paris attacks, and around that time, there was this Hotels.com commercial, and think about Paris, Hilton Hotels. There was this Hotels.com commercial where they had a thing, they had the Eiffel Tower on here, and it also says blackout dates, and it was this supposedly crazy guy, like, marking all this stuff. I need to go back and really look at this, but it had the number 239 on it. We were in the 239th year of the United States when Pope Francis went to the White House on 23/9, and Society of Jesus equals 239, Illuminati equals 239, Paris, France equals 239. Pope Francis arrived in the United States on the anniversary of the French Republic, and then 52 days later was the ISIS attack, ISIS 52, Pope 52, the 52nd Prime 239. So I was thinking that it was connected to France somehow, and blackout dates, and Paris is the city of light. If you look up Paris, we'll look it up really quick, but Paris is actually known as the city of light. Let's find it here. Well, maybe it doesn't say it in here anymore. We'll find it. I don't know. Here we go. Paris is often referred to as the city of light, right? So Paris, the city of light. Think about the Illuminati who is in the light, right? And I'm bringing all this up because of the number 34, because France equals 34 in Gematria, right? France 34. And there's something interesting about, I've been talking about this number 229 with France a whole lot, right? France 229. This year's the 229th anniversary of the French Republic that began on the date 22/9. And that date is 2 months and 29 days before the French president's birthday, and a whole lot more, right? So 219 is an interesting day because that's the 50th day of the year, the 50th prime number, just so happens to be 229. And then you've got France that equals 34. Think about young Dolph equaling 34 being synced up to, Travis Scott, who was linked to Super Bowl 53, all about the number 34, and the Blackout Bowl that was synced up to the number 34. I also have been watching this date in relation to Kamala Harris as well, because the word president equals 219. And it's just an interesting day because in relation to Squid Game and all that, right, we got Joe Biden met Pope Francis 4 years, 5 months and 6 days after Donald Trump met Pope Francis, and he met Pope Francis on the anniversary of the stock market crash, and so on. And Squid Game is all about money and so on. So, right, I have a whole video on this. You could watch that too. But 456 days after Joe Biden's birthday in 2020, the year of Cyber Polygon and all that, just so happens to be the date 219. So there's something interesting there. And Kamala Harris equals 264. And so does White House. White House equals 264. I didn't see White House equals 189 too, huh? That's interesting. And, when Obama was the president, we talked a lot about blackout symbolism and a lot of that Paris stuff. We thought maybe Obama would possibly be assassinated, to get the black out of the White House, right? A black out. So there's just something related. I don't know for sure what it means or what, but there's something very interesting with how it links up to Kamala Harris and Joe Biden and the White House and, so I never caught White House 189 before. Also, in relation to young Dolph, he died at the age of 36, right? And Paris equals 36. And he died 36 weeks before his birthday, exactly. Think about Princess Diana, who died at the age of 36 in France and Paris, right? And Prince Philip died earlier this year. Prince Philip's 189. Prince Philip, the royal family linked up to France a whole lot. Even Queen Elizabeth II equals 264, right? And she got her COVID vaccine a span of 264 days after her birthday. And if she dies, her son will become King Charles III, who equals 264. Something very synced up there. Cyber Polygon equals 219 as well. Cyber Polygon 219, also 50, right? The 50th day of the year is 219. It also equals 312, and this is a big number with the Jesuits. And Cyber Polygon actually was on the date 7-8, right? Like how the word Jesuit equals 78, but 7-8 is 3 months and 12 days before Kamala Harris's birthday. And remember, Kamala Harris was born on the exact same day that Herbert Hoover died. Herbert Hoover was the president during the stock market crash. She died on the exact day that he was. It was October 20th, 1964 is when she was born, right? But Cyber Polygon 312, and it happened 3 months and 12 days before Kamala Harris's birthday, and Pope Francis, his real name, Jorge Mario Bergoglio, equals 312, and the word Pope in Sumerian equals 312, and Ignatius of Loyola was made a saint on the day 312, and a whole bunch more. I can't remember it all. There's a whole bunch of 312 stuff that's all related, so I don't know. I'm going to keep my eye out for the date 219. Possibly there's something going on with blackout symbolism, or there's something important to 219, whether there's even a big event or what. Something I'm supposed to learn, but doesn't blackout also equal 56? I mean, just throwing it out there. Blackout. No, it does not. It does equal 131 like Super Bowl, like championship. And it's going to be in the year 22 as well, right? The year 22. Think about Memphis, too. In Memphis, the college is the Tigers, right? And Tiger King just came out 666 days after Joe Exotic went. The new Tiger King Part 2, came out 666 days after Joe Exotic went to jail on the 22nd day of 2020. And he got sentenced for 22 years. And I've been saying how the year 22 was all synced up to this tiger symbolism. And, it's all about Tampa Bay. And, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers went on to win the Super Bowl by 22 points the year after Tiger King came out. And Carol Baskin's husband, Don Lewis, who went missing, he went missing like 22 years before, I can't remember it all. They declared him dead in the year 2002, a lot like a 22, which was the same year that the last time the Tampa Bay Buccaneers won the Super Bowl. And he went missing 22 years before Tiger King came out, and a whole bunch more, Tiger King came out 79 days before Carol Baskin's birthday, and 79 is the 22nd prime number, and Tampa Bay equals 79, and also 189, huh? Now that's very interesting. I didn't even see all that. Huh. Well, I've been watching the Buccaneers anyway for the whole season, probably like everybody has, just because Tom Brady and whatever. But Tampa Bay Buccaneers. How interesting. 189. Of course, remember next year is going to be the year of the Tiger, and Joe Exotic's going to be 59 years old if he lives that long. Tiger, 59. Michael Jordan will be 59 the day before 219, or 2 days before 219. There's something linked up to that date. And I feel like it's important to France, like this whole year. Or France is like, if nothing happens in France, there's like always something related to how France is connected to a different narrative, if that makes sense. So, kind of builds on it, but also, around that time of that 2015, the Paris attacks, right? And the blackout date Hilton Hotels commercial, there was all kinds of stories about tigers in the media. Remember? Charlie Sheen supposedly had AIDS or whatever. He announced he had HIV, and he's the guy who has tiger's blood. And this was just after Taylor Swift's song Bad Blood had won the best song at the VMAs or whatever. Bad Blood, HIV, right? Then we have the Paris, France attacks that reminds us of the movie Team America, where they go to France and then they come back and he goes to the play. that's making fun of Rent, which is also a part to some stuff I just talked about with Kevin Spacey and whatnot. But he's in that play on South or Team America, they sing "Everyone has AIDS." And then Charlie Sheen comes out and says he has AIDS, he had tiger's blood. There was also a Missouri tiger hunger strike that was going on. So, there's something important to the tiger year too, or tiger symbolism and how it relates to this. And, I'm not quite for sure, but it's interesting. Memphis Tigers, you got Missouri Tigers. Tiger King comes out. Tiger King actually came out on the same day that young Dolph even died, right? Tiger King came out on that day. In the video, I'll just probably upload this video. I ramble on a lot about stuff. Not in the beginning one, but the second one I kind of lost my train of thought, so I didn't want to post it, but I'll just post it anyway. But talking about the synchronicity I had with Andy Kaufman and Jim Henson, and it led me to watch the movie Man on the Moon with Jim Carrey, because Jim Carrey plays Andy Kaufman. And a big piece in the end of that movie is he goes to Memphis and he fights Jerry the King Lawler, right? Let's see, Jerry the King Lawler. And this guy's from Memphis, and his birthday's 11/29, and 11/29 just so happens to be like this number right here. That's the 189th prime number. And he's the king. And think about young Dolph. Young Dolph, who has an album called King of Memphis. Just makes me think of Jerry the King Lawler, right? I never even looked into this album. And it came out on 2/19. Oh my God. Oh my God, dude. Oh wow, that's crazy. I didn't even look this up before. What's King of Memphis in Gematria? Unbelievable. King of Memphis. I don't know. Well, 73. I can't remember. I can't remember what 73 stood out to me for. I mean, King of Memphis. Let me look at this again. I mean, it's got the Catholic thing. There was a 73 was important to something. And, man, what was it? Just recently there was something to do with 73. Hold on. Well, I know what it was. It doesn't really relate to this, but the word time with the capital T equals 73, and the first Back to the Future movie came out on the date 7/3. So, but I'll have to look more into this, but King of Memphis. And I bet you anything, I don't know enough about like Memphis, Egypt, but I bet you it has something to do with Memphis, Egypt. I'll have to look more into it. King of Memphis. In relation to the movie Man on the Moon as well. I don't even know when this movie came out. I don't remember. Man on the Moon. But it was all to do with Andy Kaufman, right? They came out in 99, right? The year. That's interesting too, right? The Rams and the Titans in the Super Bowl. In 99 as well. But when did this movie come out? 12/22. I don't want to go into this, but that's the 356th day of the year. And SpongeBob's 356 and Super Bowl LII, Super Bowl 53 equals 356. Mandela effect equals 356. But 219, even more important here, Andy Kaufman. If you look up his name, Andrew Jeffrey Kaufman, that also equals 219. Andrew Jeffrey Kaufman, 219. Even if you take out his middle name, Andrew Kaufman, it also equals 219. And, come to think about it, well, Blackout, right? Blackout's 131. And I just watched Zach's video the other day where somebody pointed out that they subliminally put this black dot over Travis Scott at 131 into his music video called Escape Plan that he released on the same day as the Astroworld Festival, right? A blackout. He blacked him out. Right? Like an eclipse. And then you got, oh man, there's so many things synced up to this, but they put a black dot around him at 1:31. Blacked out. They blacked him out. I mean, I feel like that has to be part of the reason why. I don't even know what's escape plan equal real quick. And I'm going to end the video, but escape plan. 38, 52, Astros. I don't know. I'll have to look more into that stuff too. I didn't even watch that whole video, actually. Escape plan. But it has the Pearl Jam shirt and Nirvana synced up to Pearl Jam, right? Chris Cornell synced up to the Black Hole Sun, right? Reminding us of this blacked out dot and the eclipse. And Jorge Soler winning the MVP. Think about Houston and space and the eclipse. Actually, one more thing. I got to look this up. But I want to look up the next great American eclipse. I was trying to see if the next eclipse goes through Memphis or something of the sort, but it doesn't look like it does. It is interesting, though, the other one was on August 21st, which is the same day that the single for Sicko Mode came out, right? This came out 1 year later to the day. Sicko Mode really quick, too. We'll look at that. I can't remember anymore. Interesting. The fifth. There's a lot of interesting things here. This number is big with the space theme that I've talked about. A whole lot. The umbrella symbolism. In relation to JFK, too. Like JFK, he got shot in Dealey Plaza that equals 189. And George Dealey, his birthday was 18/9. And JFK died 189 days, I think, before or after his birthday, too. So that's something to think about. Also, in 2015, right, the 2015 Paris attacks were 3 months and 6 days before 219, and Paris equals 36. Let's look at ISIS again really quick, and then I'll get off here, but, ISIS 52, 34. So a definite thing there. Team America. I guess it's World Police. That's what it would be, right? I don't even know when that came out, but we'll send it there. There's definitely something going on with blackouts. It's linked up to the eclipse, it looks like. I got to do some more research, but I can't believe I'd ever looked up that King of Memphis album with Jerry the King Lawler. And his birthday links up to the 189th prime number. He's going to be 72 years old. What's his middle name in there? 456. Craziness. That's mind-blowing. Back to the Future equals 456 as well. And I'm waiting for Zenith of the Alpha to get 4.56 subscribers. I bet you something interesting will happen when he gets that many subscribers too. And he just made a video on Back to the Future not like a week ago or so. That's what just sparked my brain. And the great Scott and Travis Scott. So there's something, I don't know. We'll leave it there, but just wanted to show this link to blackout symbolism that's going on with a whole bunch of these stories within the media. But have a good one. Peace.